What if the very first words you say to yourself each morning held the power to change everything? Imagine waking up tomorrow and starting your day with a voice inside that believes in you without hesitation. That voice can either lift you up or hold you back. It shapes how you see yourself and the world around you, coloring every decision, every action, every breath you take. But why is this so important? Because what you say to yourself first thing sets the tone for everything that follows. Your thoughts are not just background noise, they are the architects of your reality. When your mind leans toward doubt, fear, or hesitation, those feelings grow stronger throughout the day. But when you choose words filled with courage, confidence, and purpose, you build a shield against the challenges you face. This isn't just hopeful thinking. It's a simple truth that your brain listens carefully to the language you offer it first. The morning is a fresh canvas, untouched by yesterday's mistakes or worries. If you take a moment to speak words of power, you ignite a spark that can carry you through the hardest moments ahead. This is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real struggles. It's about giving yourself permission to rise above the noise in your mind and reclaim control over your path. The power of these words is not in their magic, but in the way they plant seeds of belief in your subconscious. Over time, they reshape the way you react, the risks you're willing to take, and the confidence you feel in your own skin. It's the difference between living a life of quiet resignation and stepping into a life driven by intention and possibility. If you want to break free from the endless cycle of self-doubt, procrastination, or fear, it starts here in the moments just after you wake up. What you say to yourself then can become the foundation for courage to face uncertainty, the fuel to chase your goals, and the comfort to accept yourself through every setback. Staying with this video will give you 8 powerful statements to say each morning. Words designed not just to inspire, but to create real, lasting change. They are simple, yes, but backed by a force far greater than wishful thinking, the science of how your mind works and the unstoppable momentum of consistent positive action. These words will help you reclaim your morning, and in doing so, reclaim your life. Because when you control your morning, you control the day. And when you control your day, you take control of your destiny. So listen carefully, absorb these truths, and prepare to speak new words that will reshape not just your morning, but every moment that follows. Your future self is already waiting, and the journey begins with what you say to yourself right now. You are capable of far more than you realize. Those words are not empty encouragement. They are a truth waiting to be uncovered beneath layers of doubt, fear, and the stories you tell yourself about your limits. Every day, your mind offers you 2 choices: to stay inside the cage of comfort or to step beyond the boundaries of what feels safe. Choosing to believe you are capable means unlocking the door to possibility. It means telling yourself right now that your potential is not fixed or measured by past failures, nor confined by the opinions others have placed on you. This belief shifts something deep inside. It activates a part of your brain that is wired to seek growth, to stretch, to learn. When you say, "I am capable of more than I know," you challenge the voice inside that whispers you can't. This simple statement rewires your thinking patterns, building new neural pathways that support confidence and resilience. It becomes a shield against the paralyzing grip of doubt. When you affirm your capability every morning, you program your mind to notice opportunities, not obstacles. Your focus sharpens on solutions rather than problems. The impossible starts to feel a little less daunting. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as invitations to grow stronger. This belief is not about perfection or having all the answers. It is about courage, the courage to try, to fail, and to try again. It is about refusing to let fear write the script of your life, because fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal that growth is near. Acting in spite of fear builds a reservoir of inner strength. Each time you remind yourself of your capability, you add another brick to the foundation of your future. This foundation supports every dream, every goal, every desire you have for yourself. Without it, your efforts crumble under the weight of insecurity. But with it, even small steps become acts of courage. You may not feel capable all the time, and that is okay. What matters is that you choose to say these words anyway, trusting that action will build belief. You don't need to wait for confidence to arrive. You create it by showing up, by pushing past resistance, by proving to yourself again and again that you can handle more than you thought possible. This affirmation rewires your brain's reward system. Your mind begins to celebrate growth and progress, rewiring you to seek challenges rather than avoid them. It triggers the release of dopamine, the chemical that fuels motivation, giving you a natural push forward. When you make this statement part of your morning ritual, you prime your mind to perform at its best. Your body aligns with this belief. Your posture straightens. Your breath deepens. Your heart beats with a quiet strength that whispers, "You've got this." This is the power of claiming your capability before the world even asks you to prove it. Your future self is waiting to be unleashed, but only you hold the key. The more you say, "I am capable of more than I know," the more your actions will reflect it. Every moment becomes an opportunity to test that truth, to stretch your limits, and to grow into the person you were always meant to be. This belief is the spark that lights the fire of your transformation. It is the courage that keeps you moving when the path is unclear. Speak it with conviction. Own it with every fiber of your being, because your capability is not just what you do, it is who you are. Your thoughts are not just whispers in the background, they are the architects of your reality. When you believe your mind controls you, you give away your greatest power. But the truth is, you have the ability to command your thoughts, to choose which ones rise and which ones fall silent. Every morning is a chance to take back control, to become the master of your own mind. The moment you realize that your thoughts don't define you, that they are simply signals passing through, you gain freedom. Freedom from the chains of doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs that have held you hostage far too long. You can decide what to listen to and what to ignore. This is not wishful thinking. It's a proven truth that mindfulness, awareness of your thoughts without attachment, changes the way your brain functions. When you start the day telling yourself, "I control my thoughts, they don't control me," you shift the balance of power. Instead of reacting automatically to negativity, you create space for calm, focus, and clarity. This statement arms you with resilience. It teaches your mind to recognize harmful patterns and gently redirect away from them. This practice rewires neural pathways, weakening old habits of worry and self-criticism, while strengthening new paths of self-compassion and strength. Imagine waking up with a mind that feels like a calm lake instead of a stormy sea. When intrusive thoughts arise, and they will, you don't fight them. You simply observe, let them pass, and refocus on what serves your highest good. This act of control isn't about ignoring reality or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing which thoughts deserve your energy and which ones do not. Your mind will try to pull you into old fears, insecurities, and what-ifs. But you hold the reins, you decide where your attention flows. When you embrace this power, you stop giving energy to doubts that weigh you down. You stop feeding the habit of negativity. Instead, you nurture thoughts that inspire action, courage, and growth. This affirmation builds a mental fortress, protecting your peace, sharpening your focus, and increasing your productivity. It allows you to approach problems with a clear head rather than a cluttered heart. It fosters emotional intelligence by helping you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. You will find that the more you practice this control, the more your mood lifts, your confidence grows, and your ability to face challenges strengthens. Your brain begins to associate calm, intentional thought with success and well-being, rewarding you with a sense of inner power that no external circumstance can shake. You are not a victim of your mind, you are its leader. This simple truth ignites courage to face uncertainty. It fuels persistence when obstacles arise. It sparks clarity when confusion clouds your path. You become a force of steady will, calm determination, and unwavering focus. When you tell yourself, "I control my thoughts, they don't control me," you claim a freedom so profound it transforms your entire experience of life. This is where real change begins, not in wishing for a better day, but in commanding the one you have with the power of your own mind. With each repetition of this affirmation, your mental strength grows. Your ability to steer your thoughts strengthens. Your inner calm deepens. This is not just a statement, it's a promise you make to yourself each morning, that no matter what the day brings, you will remain in control. You will choose peace. You will choose courage. You will choose to be the master of your own mind. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal, a natural response wired into your brain to protect you from danger. Yet, most people confuse fear with a stop sign, a warning that says, "Turn back, do not proceed." This misunderstanding shackles your potential and quiets the voice inside that knows what you are truly capable of. Fear will always be there. It will rise like waves, sudden and overwhelming, especially when you stand at the edge of something new or uncertain. But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of it. To feel fear and move forward anyway is the most powerful form of bravery there is. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you rewire your brain to respond differently. The limbic system, the part of your brain responsible for emotions, starts to learn that fear is not a stop sign but a prompt to show up stronger, to push through the discomfort, and to expand your limits. When you tell yourself, "I will act even when I feel fear," you declare war on paralysis and self-doubt. You acknowledge fear's presence but refuse to be its prisoner. This statement gives you permission to be imperfect, to stumble, and to still keep moving. It frees you from the trap of waiting for the right moment, the perfect conditions, or the total confidence that may never arrive. Fear cannot survive when met with steady, deliberate action. Every small step you take in the face of fear releases a surge of neurochemicals, dopamine and endorphins, that fuel motivation and resilience. Your brain begins to crave these moments of courage, rewiring itself for boldness and growth. This process transforms fear from a barrier into a bridge. Acting despite fear builds muscle memory of bravery, creating a new identity, someone who doesn't run from discomfort but leans into it. This is the essence of transformation. It's the difference between a life half lived and a life fully claimed. Fear's voice is loud and convincing, often shouting, "You're not ready, you'll fail. What if it goes wrong?" But your response becomes louder, steadier, and more certain. "I will act anyway." This decision shifts the narrative inside your mind. It turns fear from a roaring storm into a whisper you acknowledge but no longer obey. When you meet fear with action, you prove to yourself daily that you are stronger than your doubts. This truth seeps into every corner of your being. Your confidence deepens, your vision sharpens, and your energy aligns with your goals. Courage is contagious. The more you practice it, the more your inner world reshapes to reflect strength rather than hesitation. Your morning affirmation becomes a promise, a pact with yourself to never let fear dictate your story. You are training your brain to expect discomfort, to embrace it, and to use it as fuel rather than a blockade. This is where growth lives. This is where breakthroughs happen. Each time you act in spite of fear, you reclaim power over your life. You prove that fear is not a wall but a door you choose to walk through every single day. This practice builds an unshakable foundation for success, because the real victory is not in the absence of fear, but in your refusal to be stopped by it. Your courage creates momentum, and momentum changes everything. When you wake each morning and say these words with conviction, you awaken a force inside that refuses to settle, that refuses to be small. Your fear still shows up, but it no longer holds the reins. You do. You deserve success and happiness, not as distant dreams or rewards for some future achievement, but as your birthright here and now. So often, the deepest barrier to growth is not lack of ability or opportunity, but the quiet, insidious voice that whispers, "You don't deserve this." That voice is not truth, it is a lie crafted by fear, comparison, and past wounds. It steals your energy, traps you in self-sabotage, and convinces you to settle for less than you are truly worth. But what if, from this moment forward, you refuse to believe that lie? What if you stand firm in the knowledge that you are worthy of love, of peace, of success, of joy? To tell yourself, "I deserve success and happiness," is to reclaim your power over self-worth and to break free from the chains of limitation. It is an act of radical self-compassion, a declaration that your value is not conditional on external validation or achievements. This belief shifts the foundation beneath every goal you pursue. It clears the fog of doubt and opens your heart to receive the good that life offers. When you accept that you deserve success, you stop shrinking to fit others' expectations or fading into the background to avoid discomfort. Instead, you step boldly into your potential, knowing that claiming what is rightfully yours is not selfish, it is necessary. The mind is wired to protect you from perceived threats, and sometimes that means convincing you that striving for happiness or success is dangerous or selfish. But happiness is not a zero-sum game. Your success does not diminish others. Your joy does not lessen the world's light. When you embrace your worthiness, you create space for abundance, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. This affirmation rewires your subconscious, releasing the tight grip of scarcity mindset and opening pathways to gratitude, generosity, and growth. It strengthens the neural connections that support confidence and resilience, enabling you to face setbacks without losing faith in your right to thrive. When you carry the belief that you deserve success and happiness, you become less afraid to take risks, to set boundaries, and to prioritize your well-being. You are less likely to tolerate toxic relationships, unhealthy environments, or limiting beliefs that once held you captive. This mindset nurtures a healthy self-esteem, which is the soil from which all lasting achievement grows. Your brain begins to associate your self-worth with positive action rather than self-criticism. This changes your internal dialogue from one of doubt and fear to one of encouragement and hope. With every repetition of this affirmation, you build an unshakable foundation of self-love that supports your dreams and fuels your courage. You are not waiting for approval or permission. You are granting yourself the freedom to pursue what lights your soul on fire. Deserving is not about entitlement or arrogance, it is about honoring your intrinsic value as a human being. It allows you to accept success and happiness without guilt, without hesitation, without second guessing. This truth empowers you to break free from the silent prison of self-denial and step fully into the abundant life you are meant to live. When you wake each day repeating these words, you send a powerful message to your mind and body. You are worthy of all the good this world has to offer. Your energy shifts, your actions align with your true desires. You attract opportunities that reflect your worth, the barriers crumble, and a new path unfolds before you. One illuminated by the fierce light of your own self-respect and belief. This is the foundation of transformation, the catalyst that turns hope into reality. Embrace it fully, claim it daily, and watch as your life changes in ways you once only dreamed possible. Growth is not a destination, it is a constant journey shaped by every experience you embrace and every lesson you choose to learn. When you tell yourself, I will learn and grow from every experience, you are making a profound commitment to transformation, a promise to never settle for stagnation or resignation. This mindset rewires your brain to seek meaning even in discomfort, to see setbacks not as failures, but as the essential building blocks of strength and wisdom. It invites you to approach life with curiosity rather than judgment, allowing each moment, good or bad, to fuel your evolution. This belief dissolves the fear of mistakes because you recognize that mistakes are not endpoints, but stepping stones on the path to mastery. Your brain shifts away from the paralysis of perfectionism and toward the freedom of progress. When you cultivate this mindset daily, you break free from the chains of self-criticism and replace them with the courage to keep moving forward despite uncertainty. The neurons in your brain respond to this shift by strengthening pathways associated with resilience, adaptability, and problem solving. These neural changes make you more capable of facing challenges head-on, less reactive to setbacks, and more open to new opportunities. Each experience, no matter how difficult, becomes a powerful teacher guiding you closer to your potential. You build emotional muscle by leaning into discomfort rather than avoiding it. You learn that growth often requires risk, vulnerability, and the willingness to be imperfect. This transforms how you respond to fear, failure, and criticism, not as threats, but as invitations to deepen your understanding of yourself and your capabilities. The act of consciously choosing growth each morning sets a tone of intentionality that permeates your entire day. Your mind begins to anticipate learning moments, creating a mental environment rich with possibility. This anticipation fuels motivation, making you more likely to seek out challenges that stretch you. It also helps you recover faster when things don't go as planned, because you no longer see setbacks as final verdicts on your worth or ability. Instead, you view them as temporary detours that provide critical feedback. This feedback loop creates a cycle of continual improvement, pushing you beyond limits you once believed were fixed. Growth becomes not just a concept, but a lived reality. When you tell yourself you will learn and grow from every experience, you invite humility and grace into your journey. You release the need to be perfect and embrace the truth that growth is messy, nonlinear, and deeply personal. You become patient with yourself, recognizing that transformation is a process that unfolds over time through consistent effort and reflection. This patience sustains you through moments of doubt and fatigue, reminding you that every small step forward counts. Your mindset shifts from "I must avoid failure" to "I must embrace growth." And with that shift comes freedom. Freedom to take risks without fear of judgment, freedom to pursue your dreams without the weight of past mistakes, freedom to see yourself as a work in progress, constantly evolving, endlessly capable. The power of this belief lies in its ability to transform your relationship with yourself and with life's challenges. It makes you a learner and a warrior, both humble and courageous. Every morning you repeat this affirmation, you nurture the seeds of resilience and adaptability. You prepare your mind and heart to face whatever comes with openness and strength. This daily commitment to growth fuels your transformation, turning every experience into a step toward the person you are becoming. It is a promise to yourself that you will never stop evolving, never stop striving, and never stop believing in the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Your energy is your most valuable resource. It shapes every thought, every decision, every action you take. When you start the day by telling yourself, "I choose where my energy flows," you reclaim control over the invisible force that drives your life. This simple but profound truth shifts you from victimhood to mastery. Energy is not limitless, and it is constantly being pulled in multiple directions by distractions, stress, and negativity. If left unchecked, it leaks away in worry, resentment, and doubt, leaving you drained before the day has truly begun. But when you consciously decide where to direct your energy, you protect your vitality and amplify your power. This choice creates a ripple effect, influencing your focus, your mood, and your capacity to overcome challenges. Your mind is wired to follow the path of energy. What you feed grows stronger. By deliberately choosing positive, purposeful energy, you ignite motivation, creativity, and resilience within yourself. The chemicals in your brain respond, flooding you with dopamine and serotonin, the fuels for confidence and joy. You become magnetic to opportunities, people, and experiences that match the energy you cultivate. When you surrender this choice to external forces, you become scattered, reactive, and overwhelmed. Your energy becomes fragmented, pulling you away from what matters most. This scatter sows frustration, fatigue, and stagnation. But when you make the daily decision to guard your energy, you build a fortress of strength around your goals and dreams. This is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is easy. It is about recognizing that how you respond to hardship defines its impact on you. When you choose to conserve and focus your energy, you gain clarity. You see what deserves your attention and what drains your spirit. You stop giving power to toxic relationships, draining environments, and negative thoughts. This clarity sharpens your intuition and guides your actions. Your brain's executive functions, the parts responsible for planning, self-control, and decision-making, grow stronger as you protect your energy. This neurological shift makes you less impulsive, more strategic, and better equipped to handle stress. Choosing your energy is an act of self-respect and fierce love. It says to yourself, "I am worthy of peace, focus, and joy." This mindset turns your daily routines into rituals of empowerment. Your mornings become sacred moments where you set the tone for your entire day. You decide what nourishes you and what to let go of. This decision fuels momentum. Momentum creates a cycle where focused energy produces small wins, which increase motivation, which in turn generates more energy. This cycle propels you forward even when obstacles arise. By consciously managing your energy, you develop endurance, the inner strength to keep going when others give up. This endurance rewires your brain's reward system to celebrate persistence, making effort feel rewarding rather than exhausting. The more you practice choosing your energy, the more your life aligns with your deepest values and desires. You begin to attract circumstances that support your growth instead of depleting you. You build relationships that energize instead of drain. Your environment becomes a reflection of your intention rather than chaos. When you affirm each morning that you choose where your energy flows, you cultivate a powerful sense of agency. You become the architect of your inner world, designing a life driven by purpose rather than reaction. This transformation is not a one-time event, but a daily commitment to stewardship of your most precious asset, your energy. It is the foundation of productivity, happiness, and lasting success. This truth, spoken aloud and felt deeply, empowers you to rise above distraction, fatigue, and negativity. It fuels your courage to pursue what matters most with passion and clarity. It anchors you in resilience when the road gets hard. Choose your energy and you choose your destiny. Your beliefs shape the world you experience. They are the silent architects of your reality, quietly guiding your thoughts, decisions, and actions every moment of every day. When you hold limiting beliefs, they act like invisible chains, confining you to a smaller, less fulfilling existence. But when you choose to believe in your strength, your potential, and your worth, you unlock a limitless landscape of possibility. Telling yourself, "I am worthy of my dreams," is not just a hopeful phrase, it is a declaration that breaks down mental barriers and rewires your brain to seek growth rather than safety. The mind's plasticity means it adapts to what you feed it. Repeated affirmations of worthiness create new neural pathways that silence the voice of doubt and amplify the voice of courage. This shift alters your perception of challenges. They become stepping stones rather than walls. Belief in your worth creates a foundation of resilience that supports you when obstacles arise, making setbacks less threatening and more manageable. When your core belief is that you deserve your dreams, you begin to act differently. You take risks you once avoided. You pursue opportunities you once thought were out of reach. You step into rooms, literal or metaphorical, with confidence that your presence matters. This belief draws others toward you, creating a magnetic energy that opens doors and builds alliances. The energy of worthiness also changes how you treat yourself. It replaces harsh self-criticism with compassion, replacing the endless internal battles with peace. This peace fuels persistence, allowing you to keep going even when motivation wanes or progress feels slow. The brain's reward system starts to associate self-love with achievement, creating a positive feedback loop that makes success feel natural rather than extraordinary. Without this foundational belief, even the most well-laid plans crumble under self-doubt and fear. But with it, you develop an inner compass that keeps you steady amid chaos. This compass helps you navigate setbacks with grace, seeing them as temporary detours rather than signs of failure. Each morning, when you affirm your worthiness, you nurture this compass and strengthen your resolve. This practice transforms how you face criticism, rejection, or uncertainty. Instead of retreating or shutting down, you lean into discomfort, knowing that your value is inherent and unshakable. Worthiness is not about perfection or external validation. It is a deep, unwavering recognition that you matter simply because you exist. This recognition liberates you from the exhausting cycle of comparison and self-judgment. It frees you to pursue what lights your soul on fire, not what others expect of you. As this belief grows stronger, it influences your choices, what you say yes to, what you say no to, and where you invest your time and energy. Your life begins to align with your deepest values rather than outside pressures or fleeting trends. This alignment creates a powerful sense of fulfillment and authenticity, turning your daily actions into expressions of your true self. When you live from a place of worthiness, you become unstoppable. You move through the world with a quiet confidence that inspires others and commands respect. You stop waiting for permission or perfect conditions because you know you are already enough. This belief is the seed from which all transformation grows. It is the soil that nurtures courage, persistence, and joy. Repeat it often, feel it deeply, and watch as your life begins to mirror the greatness that has always lived inside you. The truth is, your potential is not fixed. It is not a set number carved in stone by your past or your circumstances. Potential is a living force inside you, waiting to be awakened, stretched, and expanded. When you tell yourself, "I am capable of more than I realize," you ignite a powerful shift within your mind and body. This simple declaration challenges the limitations you have unconsciously accepted and opens the door to possibility. The brain craves certainty, but it also thrives on challenge. When you embrace the belief in your capacity to grow, you activate neural pathways that strengthen resilience, creativity, and problem solving. Your mindset moves away from scarcity and doubt, stepping instead into abundance and confidence. This belief fuels a hunger for progress that no obstacle can extinguish. You stop viewing failure as a verdict and begin seeing it as feedback, a necessary part of the journey that reveals where growth is needed. The moment you accept that you are capable of more, your energy shifts. You become willing to stretch beyond comfort, to lean into discomfort with curiosity and courage. You invite growth by taking risks and trying new approaches, even when success is not guaranteed. This willingness rewires your brain to crave challenge rather than avoid it, rewiring your emotional responses to stress and uncertainty. With each step beyond your perceived limits, your confidence builds. You experience a feedback loop where effort leads to small victories which inspire bigger efforts, creating unstoppable momentum. This momentum propels you forward through setbacks and fatigue. The belief in your capability sharpens your focus and clarifies your vision. You begin to see obstacles not as insurmountable walls, but as puzzles to solve, as opportunities to stretch your skills and deepen your strength. This perspective releases anxiety and fear because you trust your ability to handle what comes. The voice inside that once whispered, "I can't," begins to grow quieter as the voice that says, "I will try," becomes louder and more persistent. This internal dialogue shapes your actions and your results. It creates a reality where effort is honored and persistence rewarded. The body responds too. Physical energy increases as your nervous system learns to cope with challenge rather than shut down in stress. You become more resilient to fatigue, more alert to opportunity, and more connected to your inner drive. The mind and body align in a powerful partnership fueled by belief and action. Every morning you affirm this truth, you reinforce the wiring that supports growth, resilience, and courage. You prime your brain to seek expansion, not safety. This prepares you to face each day with determination and flexibility, ready to adapt and overcome. The simple act of choosing to believe in your capabilities awakens dormant strengths that have always been there, buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. This awakening is profound because it turns hesitation into momentum, fear into fuel, and limitation into freedom. You stop playing small and start living large, not because circumstances have changed, but because you have. You become a living example of transformation, proof that the only real limits are those you accept. This belief unlocks a new level of performance, creativity, and joy. It frees you to pursue goals with fierce determination and open heart. You become unstoppable because you know that the well of your potential is deep and replenishing. You don't wait for permission, validation, or perfect conditions. You move forward now, confident that you are capable of more than you realize, ready to meet life's challenges with strength and grace. This is the essence of transformation, the moment you stop doubting and start becoming. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. They hold immense power to shape how you feel, how you act, and ultimately what you create in your life. When you tell yourself, "I control my thoughts," you reclaim the steering wheel of your mind. This simple truth is revolutionary because it means you are not a passive observer trapped by negative patterns or self-defeating beliefs. You have the capacity to choose, redirect, and reshape your mental landscape. The brain is wired to seek patterns and often defaults to familiar thought loops, even if they are harmful or limiting. This is why many people feel stuck, overwhelmed by worries, doubts, or fears that seem uncontrollable. But the moment you consciously decide to control your thoughts, you activate the brain's executive functions, the parts responsible for attention, self-regulation, and decision-making. This activation creates new neural pathways that strengthen your ability to filter distractions, challenge negative biases, and focus on what empowers you. When you embrace control over your mind, you stop feeding negativity and begin cultivating thoughts that align with your goals and values. Your mental energy shifts from resistance to acceptance, from fear to possibility. This shift lowers stress and anxiety because your mind stops racing toward worst-case scenarios and instead begins to imagine solutions and growth. You build emotional resilience as your internal dialogue becomes an ally, not an enemy. Each morning, when you affirm control over your thoughts, you create a powerful habit loop. Your brain starts anticipating moments of clarity and focus, strengthening the habit of mindful thinking. This makes it easier to interrupt negative spirals and replace them with constructive, motivating thoughts. The ability to control your mind is the foundation of emotional mastery. It allows you to respond to challenges with calm and clarity rather than react impulsively or from a place of fear. This control empowers you to choose your reactions, turning obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. When you take ownership of your thoughts, you also take ownership of your emotions. You realize that feelings are not random forces, but responses that can be managed and directed. This realization gives you freedom from being controlled by mood swings or external circumstances. Instead, You cultivate a stable inner environment where peace and purpose can thrive. The practice of controlling your thoughts rewires the brain's stress response systems, reducing cortisol and increasing neurotransmitters that promote well-being. Over time, this neurochemical balance improves mental clarity, decision-making, and motivation. You find yourself naturally gravitating toward positivity and productivity because your mind is primed for success. This empowerment transforms your relationship with yourself. You no longer blame external factors for your state of mind or let negativity define your day. You become proactive, shaping your mental world with intention and care. This shift is radical because it moves you from reaction to creation, from being swept by the tides of circumstance to charting your own course. Control over your thoughts is the gateway to mastery over your life. It fuels self-discipline, focus, and the courage to pursue your deepest desires. Each morning, as you affirm this control, you strengthen your resolve and resilience. You prepare yourself to meet the day's challenges with a clear, calm, and confident mind. This practice unlocks a profound sense of freedom. The freedom to think differently, feel deeply, and act decisively. It is the foundation on which all other transformations rest. When you own your thoughts, you own your destiny. Every choice you make is a powerful statement about who you are and who you are becoming. When you tell yourself, I choose my actions with purpose, you step fully into your power as the creator of your life. Purpose transforms simple actions into meaningful steps that build momentum toward your highest goals. Without purpose, even the most energetic efforts can feel hollow, scattered, or exhausting. Purpose anchors your willpower, sharpening your focus and aligning your behaviors with your deepest values. This alignment is essential because the brain's reward system is most activated when actions are tied to meaning and long-term fulfillment. Purpose-driven choices stimulate dopamine release, fueling motivation and persistence even when the path is difficult. Every purposeful decision rewires your brain to favor discipline over distraction, resilience over avoidance. You begin to build habits that support growth and well-being rather than habits that lead to stagnation or self-sabotage. This intentionality protects you from the subtle but powerful forces of distraction and procrastination which thrive in an unfocused mind. When you embrace your power to choose actions with purpose, you reclaim control over your time and energy. You stop reacting impulsively or out of habit and start responding thoughtfully with clear intention. This shift reduces regret and guilt because your choices become conscious and aligned with what truly matters. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, grows stronger as you practice purposeful action. This neurological strengthening enhances your ability to resist temptation, manage stress, and pursue goals with unwavering commitment. Purposeful action also transforms how you view obstacles. Instead of threats that derail progress, challenges become invitations to deepen your resolve and creativity. You develop a mindset that sees difficulty as part of the journey rather than an endpoint. This mindset changes your emotional experience, reducing fear and frustration and increasing courage and satisfaction. Each morning, when you affirm your commitment to choose actions with purpose, you set a powerful tone for your entire day. You prime your brain to seek opportunities that align with your goals and to avoid distractions that undermine your progress. This mental priming builds momentum, creating a positive feedback loop where purposeful action breeds confidence and confidence fuels further action. Over time, this cycle becomes automatic, turning discipline into a natural part of who you are. Purpose is the bridge between intention and achievement. It turns dreams into reality by giving structure and meaning to every step you take. Without purpose, actions can feel like random motions. With it, every effort becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. This clarity empowers you to prioritize what matters most, making decisions easier and reducing wasted energy on unimportant distractions. Choosing your actions with purpose is an act of self-respect and self-love. It honors your potential and protects your vision. It says to yourself, I am worthy of investing in my growth and happiness. This commitment cultivates a deep sense of fulfillment because you know your efforts are not in vain, but part of a meaningful journey. It fuels resilience, helping you persevere when the road gets tough and inspiring you to keep moving forward even when motivation dips. When you live by this truth, you become unstoppable. You harness the full power of your mind and body, moving through life with clarity, passion, and unwavering determination. Purpose turns ordinary days into extraordinary steps toward a life lived fully and authentically. Your choices shape your destiny. Choose them with purpose, and you shape a future worthy of your dreams. When you fully embrace the power of your emotions, you transform your inner world and your outer reality. Saying to yourself, "I honor my emotions without letting them control me," is a radical act of courage and self-mastery. Emotions are powerful signals, vital messages from your subconscious that reveal what you value, what you fear, and what you desire. Ignoring or suppressing them leads to tension, confusion, and ultimately self-sabotage. But when you honor your emotions, you acknowledge their presence without becoming overwhelmed or reactive. This balance creates emotional intelligence, a skill that rewires your brain to process feelings with clarity and calm. The more you practice this, the more your nervous system shifts from survival mode into growth mode. When emotions arise, you no longer see them as threats, but as information to guide your choices. This shift decreases impulsivity and reduces stress hormones, allowing you to respond rather than react. Your brain's prefrontal cortex strengthens, improving decision-making, empathy, and self-regulation. Honoring emotions builds resilience because it teaches you to sit with discomfort without being consumed by it. You learn that feelings like fear, sadness, or anger are temporary waves, not permanent states. This awareness liberates you from emotional hijacking and creates space for thoughtful action. When you tell yourself this truth each morning, you set a tone of self-compassion and strength. You prepare your mind to meet challenges with a grounded heart, capable of feeling deeply without losing control. This emotional mastery fuels confidence because you trust your ability to navigate life's ups and downs without being derailed. It sharpens your intuition, helping you distinguish between genuine signals and fleeting impulses. This clarity protects you from making decisions based on temporary moods, which often lead to regret. Instead, you respond from a place of balance and wisdom. Honoring your emotions also deepens your connection to others. Emotional intelligence enhances your ability to listen, empathize, and communicate authentically. This strengthens relationships, builds trust, and creates support systems essential for growth and fulfillment. The brain's mirror neuron system activates in these moments, fostering genuine connection and mutual understanding. This social support further rewires your neural pathways toward optimism and resilience. When emotions are honored, energy flows freely rather than becoming blocked or stagnant. This flow fuels creativity, motivation, and passion, elements crucial for pursuing your dreams. You tap into a deeper source of power that is neither aggressive nor passive, but balanced and dynamic. It moves you forward with purpose and grace. This emotional equilibrium also protects your well-being. Chronic emotional suppression leads to exhaustion, burnout, and physical illness. By practicing emotional awareness and acceptance, you support your overall health and longevity. The brain-body connection strengthens, creating a cycle where emotional balance promotes physical vitality, which in turn reinforces mental clarity. Every morning, affirming your commitment to honor your emotions without being controlled by them rewires your brain to embrace this transformative balance. It trains your nervous system to be calm in chaos and clear in confusion. This daily practice builds an inner sanctuary where strength and softness coexist, creating a foundation unshakable by external storms. This foundation empowers you to face life with unwavering courage and compassion toward yourself and the world around you. When you master this truth, you unlock a wellspring of freedom and power that propels you toward your highest potential with steady, unstoppable momentum. Your environment shapes your mindset in ways you often overlook. When you declare, "I create a space that supports my growth," you take responsibility for the physical and mental atmosphere that surrounds you. This declaration is more than a simple statement. It is a commitment to designing an ecosystem where your potential can flourish. The spaces you inhabit influence your brain chemistry and behavior far more than you realize. Clutter, chaos, and negativity drain your energy and scatter your focus, while order, light, and positive cues invite clarity, creativity, and calm. Your brain craves patterns and signals that tell it when to engage and when to rest. By intentionally shaping your surroundings, you send a clear message to your nervous system: this is a place of safety and opportunity. This message reduces stress hormones and enhances your capacity for deep work, reflection, and innovation. When your environment supports your growth, Your executive functions, planning, decision-making, self-control, strengthen naturally. The habit loops that sustain your goals become easier to build because the cues around you reinforce your intentions. Your environment becomes a partner in your success, not an obstacle. This partnership increases motivation by removing friction. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become approachable when your space is organized and aligned with your priorities. This alignment also helps reduce mental clutter. When your external world is simplified and supportive, your mind follows suit, freeing cognitive resources for creativity and problem solving. The power to create a supportive space extends beyond physical surroundings. It includes the people you surround yourself with, the information you consume, and the emotional atmosphere you allow into your life. Toxic relationships, negative news, and draining conversations act like emotional toxins that erode resilience and hope. When you choose your environment with care, you guard your mental and emotional energy fiercely. This boundary setting strengthens your self-worth and protects your progress. The brain's limbic system, responsible for emotional regulation, responds positively when you minimize exposure to negativity and maximize connection with supportive, inspiring influences. This neurological balance enhances mood stability and increases your capacity for joy and gratitude. Creating a space that supports your growth also involves routines and rituals. Consistent habits that honor your goals and well-being become anchors amid life's chaos. These rituals send reliable signals to your brain that reinforce safety and purpose, making it easier to stay focused and motivated. The repetition builds neurological pathways that automate discipline, turning effort into ease over time. Each morning, affirming your power to shape your environment primes your brain to notice and seek out conditions that nurture your best self. This practice trains your attention to focus on opportunities and resources rather than obstacles and distractions. It sharpens your ability to adapt and innovate, giving you a dynamic edge in pursuit of your dreams. Your environment becomes a reflection of your inner values, a tangible expression of your commitment to growth. This harmony between inner and outer worlds creates a powerful feedback loop that accelerates transformation. By owning your space and its influences, you cultivate freedom and clarity. You become unstoppable because your surroundings no longer work against you, but fuel your rise. This truth, spoken each morning and lived every day, builds a foundation for lasting success and fulfillment that cannot be shaken by external chaos. Your time is the most precious resource you have, and how you choose to honor it defines the quality of your life. When you tell yourself, "I protect my time fiercely," you make a powerful declaration that you will no longer allow distractions, obligations, or doubts to steal your focus and energy. Time is finite and non-renewable. Once spent, it cannot be reclaimed. This truth alone demands that you become a vigilant guardian of your moments. Protecting your time means setting boundaries that defend your priorities and preserve your mental space. It means saying no to what does not serve your growth and yes to what aligns with your deepest goals. This practice sharpens your focus because the brain responds to clear priorities by reducing decision fatigue and increasing productivity. When your time is guarded, you experience less overwhelm and stress as your energy flows toward meaningful tasks rather than scattered demands. The brain's prefrontal cortex thrives on structure and routine, which are byproducts of protecting your time. These structures enable sustained attention and build momentum that turns small actions into significant achievements. This momentum boosts confidence, creating a positive feedback loop where focus breeds success and success reinforces focus. Guarding your time is an act of self-respect that rewires your brain to value yourself and your contributions. It creates an internal narrative where you become your own advocate rather than a passive victim of circumstance. This shift empowers you to make choices that support your well-being and ambitions, rather than sacrificing your future for temporary comfort or external approval. Protecting your time also means recognizing the difference between urgency and importance. The brain is easily hijacked by urgent distractions that feel pressing but often have little impact on long-term goals. When you consciously protect your time, you train your mind to distinguish between noise and signal, prioritizing tasks that align with your vision and values. This clarity reduces procrastination and impulsivity, replacing them with deliberate, purposeful action. Saying yes to your priorities and no to distractions strengthens your sense of control and reduces feelings of helplessness and overwhelm. It builds emotional resilience because you know you are actively shaping your day rather than reacting to it. This sense of agency fuels motivation and persistence, essential components of lasting transformation. Each morning, when you affirm your commitment to protect your time, you prime your brain to notice opportunities to focus and redirect away from distractions. This mental priming strengthens your ability to manage interruptions and maintain flow. Flow states, periods of deep immersion, and peak performance are more accessible when your time is respected and preserved. The ability to enter flow unlocks creativity, problem solving, and joy, turning work into a source of energy rather than depletion. Protecting your time is also a radical declaration of your worthiness. It signals to yourself and the world that your dreams, health, and happiness deserve your highest investment. This conviction creates magnetic energy that attracts support, resources, and opportunities aligned with your goals. When you live by this truth daily, you become unstoppable. You harness the power of time itself as an ally in your transformation, turning minutes into milestones and days into breakthroughs. Your fierce protection of time builds a foundation of focus, freedom, and fulfillment that propels you steadily toward the life you are destined to live.